Right now on Nightside, a local veteran overcoming major health issues, now on the verge of homelessness. Connecticut officials now stepping in to help. And the latest out of California after yesterday's synagogue shooting leaves at least one person dead, a community in mourning. Places of worship here in Connecticut now cracking down on security. Plus, Greenwich puts on a car show this weekend, all to help in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. I'm Annalisa Clevers. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Taking a look outside at your community camera in Stratford, meteorologist Michelle Powers joins us now with a look at your forecast. And Michelle, temperatures are dropping and we are in for a rainy week.
We certainly are. Now, luckily, the rain that we had earlier today has cleared, but we still have some damp conditions around. Roads are still wet, but all of that will change overnight now as drier air takes over. And this drier air is colder. So let's take a look now at the latest. The radar looks much better than it did earlier this afternoon and earlier this evening. So nice and quiet weather-wise, but this also means temperatures are going to tumble for tonight. Any clouds that are out there now completely clear for the morning. Let's take a look at these temperatures already starting to cool up to our north, and this is what's coming our way for tonight. So temperatures will drop through the 30s. I know it's going to be a cold start in the morning, but overnight it does get colder. So cold that we may have some frost. National Weather Service has issued frost advisories for northern Fairfield and southern Litchfield County overnight and into the early morning hours. So protect those plants, protect yourself too. Grab the heavier coats in the morning. I'll have much more on that forecast coming up. Annalisa, back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. 2 people are safe tonight after an early morning fire in Cos Cob. It happened at a home on Schubert Lane around 5:15. Police say the fire started in the chimney of the house, then flames quickly spread to the attic and second floor. No injuries are reported, but the house has significant fire and water damage. Officials are now investigating the cause of the fire. And in Monroe, a babysitter home with young children Saturday night is being credited for helping them safely evacuate a house fire in Monroe. It broke out just before 8 o'clock on the back deck of the house on Sheep Meadow Drive. The babysitter got the kids out of the house and quickly called for help. Crews were able to put out the fire, but the deck and kitchen were heavily damaged. No one was hurt. State police investigating a rollover crash that happened early Sunday morning on I-95. Crews arrived around 1:30 to find a car flipped upside down between exits 17 and 16 in the southbound lanes in Westport. Officers say a tractor trailer was also involved, and the driver of the car had what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. Senator Richard Blumenthal says a Norwalk veteran is on the verge of becoming homeless. 59-year-old Ezra Priest recently had heart surgery and also suffered a stroke, and no shelter will take him in due to his health conditions. The former U.S. Marine has been living with a friend but has to leave by the end of the month. Blumenthal says far too many veterans with health problems are facing this dilemma, and America needs to do a better job of looking after its heroes.
Someone who's served and sacrificed in the Marine Corps, no way that person should be on the streets. We need to find a place for him.
I served my country, and the only thing I'm looking for is a roof over my head. I'm not looking for anything more, nothing elaborate.
Blumenthal says he's working with the nonprofit Homes for the Brave to try and get Priest into a shelter. A fund has been set up to help the disabled vet. We have more information about that at news12.com. State lawmakers are set to present their tax and spending proposals this week, with separate committees voting on a spending bill Tuesday and a revenue package Wednesday. The proposals come 2 months after Governor Lamont presented his 2-year $43.1 billion budget. Right now, there's disagreement between some Democrats and Governor Lamont over tax policy, but ultimately the legislator and the governor must come to a budget compromise before the legislative session ends on June 5th. People in Stamford are remembering those lost in the Holocaust tonight. The United Jewish Federation of Greater Stamford, New Canaan, and Darien held their annual Holocaust Remembrance Day commemoration at UConn Stamford. Local rabbis speaking alongside Holocaust survivor Marion Blumenthal-Lazan. The Federation CEO says in light of recent events, tonight is about unifying against anti-Semitism. Lozano adding that it's important to teach the younger generations about the lessons learned from these dark moments in our history.
Simply to be kind and good and respectful towards one another, that is the basis for peace. There's no doubt about it. There's so little that we can do against the negativity that's in our world, but how we treat, behave, and reach out towards one another, that's entirely up to us. And we have to begin with our children.
Over the past 20 years, Lozano spoke to over 1.5 million students. Here's the latest on the California synagogue shooting, where at least one person is dead and others wounded in the attack, including a rabbi. The city of Poway, California, in mourning after a 19-year-old suspect opened fire Saturday afternoon. It was the last day of Passover, last night a vigil for the victims of another attack on a place of worship. And we are now learning more about the gunman. Police are looking into what they are calling an open letter that they believe was written by the suspect. In the letter, the suspect refers to other attacks on other places of worship. Leaders in the community wondering what could be done to prevent shootings like this one.
I think if we used love and education, I think we would dismantle a lot of these things. The perpetrator was a young person. That person could have been educated away from such tragedy.
The suspect is also taking credit for an arson incident at a mosque in another California community. Authorities are now looking at his social media accounts for more on a possible motive. Meantime, there was extra security at synagogues across western Connecticut today in response to the shooting. News 12 Connecticut's Frank Recchia has the story.
As worshipers arrived at Congregation B'nai Israel on Park Avenue in Bridgeport Sunday morning, police could be seen keeping watch on the building. It was an effort organized by Chief A.J. Perez at the request of the synagogue in response to the deadly synagogue attack outside San Diego.
Hate really does know no bounds.
The rabbi who made that request was James Prosnit, who heads up B'nai Israel. We caught up with Prosnit at the Congregation Cemetery in Fairfield, where he was teaching third graders about the cycle of life.
We immediately contacted the Bridgeport police because we have religious school on Sunday mornings, and we know it is unnerving to many of our school families, appropriately so.
Prosnit says it was horrifying to look at these images on television, knowing his synagogue could also be a target. And that's why he did not hesitate to request a special police presence for weekend services.
On one hand, it's shocking, and on the other hand, we're so troubled because it's no longer as shocking.
Senator Richard Blumenthal praised the city of Bridgeport for making extra security available, saying it's sad that this kind of manpower is required to begin with.
Enough is enough. The security needed for this temple and others across the country reflect the spread of this epidemic of hatred.
And they lived good, long lives, and they really brought a lot to our community and to our congregation.
The rabbi says his cycle of life lesson could not have been more timely, because attacks like this one are becoming part of a cycle. He says it's one that will likely prompt him to call on police for help again in the future.
It's just a devastating time once again for us to get our arms around what's going on in our world today.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12 Connecticut.
Thanks, Frank. And synagogues in Fairfield and Norwalk were among those who also requested extra security. All right, the shooting comes 6 months to the day after the deadly shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh during Shabbat morning service. Now, 11 people were killed and 6 others injured in that attack. Congresswoman Jahana Hayes issuing a statement on the attack saying anti-Semitism and other forms of religious hatred have no place in our society. We must come together and remember all of the things that we have in common as Americans and defeat these hurtful and divisive beliefs. But we also must address the availability of assault weapons that are consistently used in these terrible shootings. We have the ability to enact common sense policies to stop mass shootings, but need the courage to act. Bridgeport's Dominican community getting a big boost today from diplomatic officials visiting their city. The New York-based Consulate General's office from the Dominican Republic holding a free seminar on East Main Street. Officials offering help with everything from passports, visas, and even document translation. Organizers say the idea is to empower the local Dominicans who call Bridgeport home by helping them complete some of the most basic tasks that might otherwise require a trip to the consulate in New York. April is National Autism Awareness Month, and dozens of people turned out in Stratford Sunday to build awareness for that cause. The second annual Charles Fuller Autism Walk, featuring a group of former NFL players who helped to organize the event. Marcus Easley played for the Buffalo Bills and said autism is an urgent health priority that needs to be better funded worldwide. The walk, taking place along Patterson Avenue, was named after Bridgeport resident and autism advocate Charles Fuller.
I want to dedicate this walk to my mom, Eunice Francis Fuller, who raised me well. I want to thank everybody for coming out and being participants.
Autism, affects a lot of people in this country, so to raise awareness and to support people with autism, I think it's just a great effort.
Fuller thanking the former NFL players for embracing the cause and encouraging him to aim high. A local dad is asking for the public's help tonight, keeping his son in a special school for kids with autism. Dan Bernstein says his 15-year-old son Jack began attending the Glen Home School in Washington, Connecticut 2 months ago, but he won't be able to stay there unless he comes up with several $1,000s. News 12 Connecticut has been following Jack's story since 2017, when his dad said the local school district misdiagnosed the child as being intellectually disabled. Well, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the News 12 stories helped Bernstein raise enough money to get Jack into the school, but a second round of tuition will soon be due. Start your engines, all for a good cause. Folks showing off their cars to raise awareness for a terrible disease. Stay with us. Celebrating the best bites in Stratford. Stratford Restaurant Week kicked off today, runs through Saturday. Over 30 restaurants are participating, showing off the best dining in town. Many are offering special deals and menus for lunch and dinner. Recently opened Brick Box on Barnum Avenue serves up a unique version of chicken and waffles, and its owner tells us he is excited to be involved in this event.
It's a really great chance for us to meet some new, different people that might not have seen us yet. We've had a great response to our Facebook page, but, we're new. Not everybody knows us. The town of Stratford's helping to promote us. That's awesome.
For a full list of participating restaurants and their menus, just visit our website, news12.com. And those food stories always get me hungry, Michelle. I don't know about you.
No, it looks great, and this may be a week to do that. Only because of
eating
the rain.
Inside,
yes,
right?
That's
not
right.
Outdoors, indoor eating.
This may be the way, to lift your spirits, maybe to sample all the fine food there. But yes, we are looking at a rainy week ahead. We've cleared out now tonight, drying out. We're in the process of that here in Bridgeport as we take a look at that community camera. It's damp. We are not completely clear yet, but we're getting there. In terms of temperature, today was chilly. Let's take a look at the temperature trend. Now, the normal this time of year is 62. We saw that on Thursday, but since that point, temperatures have been running below average. As we start our new work week, too, temperatures a little bit below. Take a look at the forecast in Litchfield. Overnight, temperatures are really dropping there once the sky clears out, and we are looking at 30s with some frost. As we go throughout the afternoon, temperatures struggle to reach those middle 50s, which again is cool for this time of year. But at least it's a dry day. We have some sunshine on the way in Reading. The clouds do collect as we go throughout the afternoon and evening. And you ask why? Well, there's more rain on the way. This area of low pressure is leaving. High pressure is building in temporarily. And this is what we have as we start our work week. And then everything changes from there. This will be a very unsettled week where we have a series of quick moving systems that'll slide through the northeast. So the next one comes tomorrow night into Tuesday. This could feature a little bit more rain than what we just had. So waking up Tuesday morning, yes, I know that morning commute will be a damp one, and our temperatures will try to warm up a little bit. The thing is, the temperatures are going to be highly dependent on where this frontal boundary lines up. It's going to be draped somewhere here across our region, and it will waffle back and forth as the rain chances come in. So unfortunately, this is what we're looking at for the rest of the week, but I'll have that full 7-day forecast coming up. Annalisa, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. People in Greenwich enjoyed fast cars for a good cause this weekend. The Hypercar Circle 2 charity event was at the Fairway Country Club today. All the proceeds going towards the fight against Alzheimer's. News 12 Connecticut's Nina Kapoor takes us there.
Though he may only be 15, Jared Rosenberg has already raised thousands of dollars for Alzheimer's research and successfully run 2 car shows.
A Hypercar Circle is an event where I combine my passion with cars with giving back to the great charity, the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation.
The inspiration came from his late grandfather, who he says ignited his passion for the unique, aerodynamic, lightweight vehicles.
Because of him having Alzheimer's, he wasn't able to have great memories, so I want to make a great memory for myself here creating this event.
Everything from Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and McLarens were on display outside the entrance to the Fairview Country Club. The Rosenbergs said they wanted everyone to walk away with a new piece of information about the cars and disease.
I think people are learning about the different types of hypercars and supercars, and it's a great networking event for owners and collectors to meet and to feel that they're, giving back to a good cause.
It's the greatest thing in the world when you see people actually enjoying all these cars and knowing that you're doing it for a great cause.
As for the future, Jared hopes to not only make this an annual event, but take it across the country. And as for how his family feels about his accomplishments,
very proud. I know my dad is proud too, and my mom.
In Greenwich, Nina Kapoor, News 12 Connecticut.
What a nice event. Jared's mom tells us last year he raised $2,000. This year's goal was $3,000, which they reached. Stratford law enforcement teaming up with some former NFL players to help kids become better students and athletes. The Flag University program kicking off at Penders Field in spite of the rain. More than 200 kids taking part in the free football clinic, which preaches academics and hard work. Mark Harrison played for the New England Patriots and hosted the event with co-founder Sam Singletary.
These kids can have something to look forward to. Not only teaching them football, but the fundamentals of life, as well as football.
I'm excited. We've worked so hard, for this whole day to unfold like this and see these kids in their uniforms, being out here just having a blast playing football.
The Stratford Police Activities League, or PAL, helped to organize that event. The Fairfield-based charity Save the Children says thousands of adults and children in Mozambique have no access to desperately needed emergency supplies in the wake of Cyclone Kenneth, the strongest storm to ever hit northern Mozambique. It has caused extensive damage, ripping homes apart and wiping out entire communities. Rescue workers with Save the Children have been unable to reach families affected by the storm because of torrential rain and flooding. A ribbon cutting in Fairfield today as the town welcomes a new business. Fanedos Jewelry holding a grand opening on Tungus Hill cutoff with local leaders on hand to celebrate the occasion. Now, officials say the family-owned business was proud to unveil its second location just a few miles from the original store in Trumbull. The owner says a recent spike in diamond sales points to growing confidence in the economy. Healing Hearts Through Bowling, a recreational program in Norwalk, is helping kids with disabilities. Stay with us. Some very special bowlers attempting strikes today in Norwalk. Healing Hearts Adaptive Recreation is a program that offers social and recreational opportunities for kids and young adults with disabilities. Today they held a bowling day at Bowlmore as part of their Something on Sunday program. Special Olympics Connecticut state champion bowler Mike Hedrick was on hand to teach the kids bowling techniques. Now, organizers say everyone enjoys working on their skills.
It's more about learning and having fun. It's about supporting your peers and having a good time in more typical environments.
Along with Healing Hearts participates a group of peer mentors also joined in on the fun. And the Wilton Library is holding its biggest fundraiser of the year this week. And Sunday, the place was packed with shoppers. The gigantic book sale kicked off Saturday and continues through Tuesday. It stretches across 2 floors where buyers can find everything from cookbooks to CDs and even a large children's section. All of the proceeds go right back into the library to fund their programs and local efforts.
And this week, you better have those umbrellas handy. We have more chances of rain coming our way. It's not a washout. I know it almost looks like that, but we do have a chance almost every day, starting Tuesday, of seeing some rain into Friday. And hopefully by next weekend, things do look a little bit brighter. All right, so for tonight, temperatures are falling. Tomorrow morning, we wake up to some 30s. This is cold enough for some frost. That's why the National Weather Service has issued those frost advisories. Those are actually up through 9 a.m. Past that point, temperatures will start to rise, but they stop in the 50s. We're still running below average tomorrow and even into Tuesday and Wednesday. Things start to warm up a little bit more towards the end of the week. And yes, we are expecting some sun and clouds for next weekend. And that's a look at your hyperlocal forecast.
Thanks, Michelle. You've heard of goat yoga, but how about goat yoga and beer? A microbrewery in Kansas City hosting a goat yoga class featuring Nigerian dwarf goats yesterday. People having a good old time getting their workout in while enjoying some time with their new drinking buddies, goats. Now that sounds like a fun way to end the weekend, I guess. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Stay with us for your top stories and weather ahead.